welcome to chapter 23 of our journey through Wuthering Heights. So don't forget, like, comment, subscribe, notification bell, and all that. Thank you very much for joining me. And these videos are a bit like Pokemon. You gotta catch them all, or should I say, watch and listen to them all. Get the whole novel in. Anyway, move on, and we'll have a look into chapter 23. So we've heard about Heathcliff and young Linton Heathcliff, and he's dying, and he's also dying for the love of young Catherine as well. So simple bit of pathetic fallacy here at the start of chapter 23. Temporary brooks crossed our path, gurgling from the uplands. I like the use of the verb gurgling there. Good fun. And they get up to Wuthering Heights, Nelly and young Cathy, and here's miserable old Joseph, everybody's favourite character. A joke, of course. Joseph seems to be sitting in a sort of Elysium alone, as in like his own kind of personal heaven there. So that's another one of your heaven and hell themes there. Then a quart of ale on the table near him, bristling with large pieces of toasted oatcake. Like we said way back in the earliest chapters of the novel, Wuthering Heights has got this medieval feel to it, and there's a sort of timelessness about it. And Joseph sitting there with ale and oatcake, and he's sitting near the fire. Yeah, it seems very medieval feel to it. Asked if the master was in. My question remained so long unanswered that I thought the old man had grown deaf and repeated it louder. Nay, he snarled, or rather screamed through his nose. Nay, yama go back where you come from. Friendly Joseph, as ever, with his impenetrable dialect there. Joseph, cried a peevish voice simultaneously with me from the inner room. How often am I to call you? There are only a few red ashes now. Joseph, come this moment. This is famous wonder wimp Linton Heathcliff himself. Vigorous puffs and a resolute stare into the grate declared he had no ear for this appeal. This is a form of metonymy here, where no ear for this appeal. This is the idea of Joseph being like the world's worst servant. He doesn't really like doing any serving, does he? He's pretty terrible. But it adds to the inhospitable nature of Wuthering Heights as a house. I've highlighted this because even Linton found writing letters to be very tiring. You should have come instead of writing. It tired me dreadfully writing those long letters. I'd far rather have talked to you. It's quite hard to like Linton. I think it's safe to say. He's combines the worst qualities, I think, of his parents, really, of the Linton line and the Heathcliff line, whatever that may be. He seems to embody that, doesn't he? He's got the selfishness combined with the overall weakness as well. I want to drink, he exclaimed fretfully, turning away. Zilla is constantly gadding off to Gimmerton since Papa went. It's miserable, and I'm obliged to come down here. They're resolved never to hear me upstairs. So this is, again, Linton. He's not particularly endearing. I wish you would say Catherine or Cathy, interrupted my young lady. So this is a good one talking about here. You got the he refers to her as Miss Linton all the time, and so that's kind of encouraging a more intimate relationship by adopting a more personal form of address. Catherine's very affectionate to him though, like stroking his soft long hair. Linton denied that people ever hated their wives, but Cathy affirmed they did, and in her wisdom instanced his own father's aversion to her aunt. So that's referring back to Isabella and Heathcliff as well. My papa scorns yours, cried Linton. He calls him a sneaking fool. So even though Linton Heathcliff is very much of the Linton line, he's in some ways his father's son. He's going along with him. He doesn't necessarily get on with him well in a particular way, and he's not really like him in many ways, but maybe in some ways he is picking up a dislike of Edgar Linton as well. Yours is a wicked man. This is like a dad-off. If you like a face-off, this is a dad-off. Your dad's worse than mine. My dad's worse. Yeah, it's just a bit of a silly, very childish. They are depicted. Bronte depicts them as very childish characters, aren't they? They're selfish and they're spiteful. You are very naughty to dare to repeat what he says. Naughty had a stronger meaning in those days. He must be wicked to have made Aunt Isabella leave him as he did. She didn't leave him, said the boy. You shan't contradict me. She did. Well, I'll tell you. So look how that is really childish arguments, isn't it? You started it. No, I didn't. Yes, he did. He did. Don't contradict me. Yes, I will. No, you won't. It's very childish. I'll tell you something, said Linton. Your mother hated your father. Now then. Oh, now they see that's pushing it, isn't it? And again, Linton Heathcliff showing some qualities of his father as well. He's definitely kind of parroting things that his father said, and he's also quite capable of inflicting real pain on people. At least Linton can't do it physically, but he can do it verbally. His father can do it verbally and physically. And she loved mine, added he. You little liar, I hate you now, she panted, and her face grew red with passion. Of course, as the readers, we know the story about all of this, so we're more in the know than the characters within it, so it comes down to dramatic irony, effectively. Cathy here, Linton's ill, we've heard that he's dying, but Cathy, beside herself, gave the chair a violent push and caused him to fall against one arm. Ah! He was immediately seized by a suffocating cough that soon ended his triumph. Sorry, extra sound effects today. But he had a massive coughing fit that it frightened Nelly there. I'm sorry I hurt you, Linton, she said at length, racked beyond endurance, but I couldn't have been hurt by that little push, and I had no idea that you could either. You're not much, are you, Linton? Don't let me go home thinking I've done you harm. Answer, speak to me. They have quite a strange relationship, don't they? I can't speak to you, he murmured. You've hurt me so that I shall lie awake all night choking with this cough. If you had it, you'd know what it was. But you'll be comfortably asleep while I'm in agony with nobody near me. I mean, what does Cathy see in this Wonder Wimp himself, Linton? I mean, what is going on? I mean, why bother giving me any time and affection? He's so irritating. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting too subjective here on this, but we should say, Bronte's decided to depict the relationship in this way. I suppose maybe that's how we're meant to react. We're meant to think of it as saying, I can't see what the appeal is here, but it's maybe just pointing to here's another doomed potential relationship, and the novel is full of doomed potential relationships, so it continues with the theme of that, and then also these two children, or young adults as they effectively are really at this stage, particularly young Cathy, are really exhibiting similar qualities of their parents, and there's that theme of generational theme to the novel where certain traits and characteristics are being passed on, aren't they? They have a bit of a falling out here. As they were leaving, we were recalled by a scream. Linton had slid from his seat onto the hearthstone and lay writhing in the mere perverseness of an indulged plague of a child, determined to be as grievous and harassing as it can. Oh, how have I fallen? Ah! But Nelly realises this is all really put on, but Cathy can't help but help him. She believes it. I shall lift him onto the settle, and he may roll as he pleases. She placed a cushion under his head and offered him some water. He rejected the latter and tossed uneasily on the floor as if it were a stone or a block of wood. She tried to put it more comfortably. I can't do with that, he said. It's not high enough. Oh, Linton, please. That's too high, murmured the provoking thing. So Cathy seems to have a great patience with him. And ironically, he's not a great patient. See what I did there. Yeah, a very strange relationship they have here. Anyway, as they leave him there, recovering from his terrible ordeal, but we have, don't you like him, Ellen? Like him, I exclaim, the worst-tempered bit of a sickly slip that ever struggled into its teens. Happily, as Mr. Heathcliff conjectured, he'll not win 20. I doubt whether he'll see Sprig indeed. So Nelly is pretty scathing about Linton there, and as I say, I think we're meant to share that same viewpoint. Actually, was I going to say something else there? I had a feeling I was going to say something else. No, actually, I just remembered it was because he'll see Spring. It's just another link to. He is very hard to like. I think that's what I was going to say. Oh, sure, isn't it? That's it. That's what I was thinking of. On the succeeding morning, I was laid up, and during 3 weeks, I remained incapacitated for attending to my duties. Actually, there is a theme, isn't there, of illness, sickness, ill health throughout the whole novel. And even Nelly gets ill because, like many women in 19th century novels, if you go out in the rain, and don't forget, of course, Nelly does have her umbrella, Ella. She has her umbrella. But women going out in bad weather in Victorian novels is always bad news, and it's often life-threatening. And Nelly gets ill. She's ill for 3 weeks because she's been out in the rain. Remain incapacitated for attending to my duties, a calamity never experienced prior to that period, and never, I'm thankful to say, since. So Nelly, as a servant, can't work properly because she's so ill. And Catherine apparently behaved like an angel, so you got your simile there, but there's a bit to it than that, because when she'd been a good night, I remarked a fresh colour in her cheeks and a pinkness over her slender fingers. Instead of fancying the hue borrowed from a cold ride across the moors, I laid it to the charge of a hot fire in the library. So what we have here this is through kind of the implications of it, and it's again through using Nelly's narration, and there's kind of retrospective knowledge here, of course, and the way the readers can interpret it, and pragmatically speaking, the way you can interpret it. She's been up to Wuthering Heights to visit Linton. That's why she's got the fresh colour on her cheeks, is because she has been riding across the moors, not sticking around. So while Nelly's ill over 3 weeks, Cathy has been visiting Linton Heathcliff up at the Heights, and obviously that relationship has been developing in the meantime. So anyway, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed my Nelly's umbrella reference. There's a little reference to my last video that's in the description of my last video. I had a little bit of fun with that one. But anyway, thank you for listening, and keep reading, keep thinking, keep making your comments, like, comment, subscribe, have a look at my other videos if you're interested, and I will see you on the next one. Have a good day or night, whatever you're doing. Goodbye.